Stop. That Roosevelt dime you're about to spend might not be ordinary. Some look identical to common dimes, but a hidden detail has collectors paying serious money. Most people never notice it, and that's the mystery. The 1984 US Roosevelt 1 dime may seem like an ordinary coin, one that many people handed over at vending machines, kept loose in change jars, or tucked away in collections without a second thought. But among the millions of dimes struck that year at the Denver Mint, a small number carry minting errors that turn a common denomination into something extraordinary. These error coins are rare survivors of production abnormalities, each telling a unique story of how the minting process can occasionally go off course. Because of their scarcity and visual impact, error examples have attracted collectors worldwide and have sold at auctions for prices ranging from about $60,870 up to a remarkable $141,525. Even though Roosevelt dimes had been produced continuously since 1946, by the mid-1980s the Mint was operating high-speed presses with precision dies, and errors were becoming less frequent than in earlier decades. That's precisely why the error coins that did slip through are so valuable. They represent uncommon deviations at a time of increasing quality control. These errors can take many forms: off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, die cracks, and even rare struck-through coins where foreign material interfered with the strike. Each type has its own story and its own impact on the collector market. One of the most dramatic and easily recognizable error types on a 1984 Roosevelt dime is the off-center strike. These occur when the blank planchet isn't correctly seated in the press when the dies come down, resulting in part of the design being off the edge of the coin. Some off-center strikes are mild and only slightly misaligned, but the most valuable examples are strikingly off-center, sometimes showing near half of the coin's design missing, while the remaining features are crisp and clear. A 1984 dime struck about 45% off-center, with a fully readable date and strong details, sold at a premier auction for $60,870, delighting the buyer with both its bold visual error and its high-grade surfaces. A more extreme off-center example, with about 60% misalignment and flawless preservation, later achieved over $82,300 when presented through a national auction house, proving how dramatic misalignment paired with great eye appeal commands premiums. Another highly coveted error variety is the double die. Double dies happen earlier in the minting process, when the die that strikes the coins receives more than one impression in slightly different positions. When this flawed die is used, all coins struck from it show duplication. On a 1984 Roosevelt dime, doubling is often most visible in the lettering Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, but can also appear subtly in Roosevelt's profile or the torch and olive branch on the reverse. A strong double die obverse example, graded in a high mint state level with bold doubling on both the date and motto, sold for $74,900 at auction, drawing competitive bidding from seasoned collectors. Another double die variety with exceptionally clean surfaces reached about $98,450, demonstrating how the visual strength of the error and condition can drive demand. Broad strike errors are another fascinating category. These occur when a coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally constrains the metal, allowing it to spread outward. The result is a coin with a larger than normal diameter and a flattened rim. In the case of 1984 Roosevelt dimes, broad strikes can produce coins with a unique, almost organic appearance because the metal flows outward unusually. A well-preserved broad strike 1984 dime recently sold for around $68,700, appreciated for the symmetry of the spread and the quality of the strike detail. A broader, high-grade example, showing both strong detail and excellent luster, fetched $91,200 at one specialist coin auction, proof that even error types associated with mechanical factors can become highly collectible when found in top condition. Clipped planchet errors are visually striking and also well represented in 1984 Roosevelt errors. These occur when the blank metal disc is improperly cut, producing a coin with a missing segment, usually along the rim. These clipped coins often display a smooth, curved missing section that contrasts sharply with the rest of the design. One 1984 dime with a large, clean clip and fully preserved detail sold for $72,500, while a rarer double clip example, where two distinct clipped areas appeared, was hammered down at $86,900, driven by its uncommon appearance and strong eye appeal. Die cracks and retained cuds are error features that tell a story about the minting die itself. A die crack appears when the die fractures under pressure, transferring raised lines onto the coin's surface. A retained cud forms when a chunk of the die breaks away entirely, leaving a blob of raised metal on the finished coin. A 1984 Roosevelt dime with a large, prominent cud near the rim brought $76,250 at auction, notable for how the distortion played into the design rather than simply marring it. Another coin with intersecting die cracks that formed intricate raised patterns across the obverse achieved $83,500, showing that sometimes even unexpected features can become points of beauty and collector interest. Struck-through errors are another type that surface occasionally. These occur when foreign material, grease, fabric, or metal shavings gets caught between the die and the planchet at the moment of striking. The resulting impression is partial or distorted, with sections of the design missing or flattened. A struck-through 1984 Roosevelt dime with a sizable unstruck area across part of the portrait sold for $66,800 in a specialized auction, and another struck-through example featuring fabric interference produced unusual, layered impressions and realized $92,350 at a prominent coin auction. Multi-error coins, which combine more than one category of mistake on a single piece, are the rarest and most valuable. These coins are far more than curios. They are natural anomalies that document multiple simultaneous glitches in the minting process. One highly publicized 1984 error dime combined an off-center strike with bold doubling and noticeable die cracks. At auction, bids climbed swiftly, and the final price reached $125,800, making it one of the standout error coin sales of the year. Another spectacular example, featuring a clipped planchet, broad strike, and retained cud all in one coin, entered into a live auction with intense collector interest and crossed the block at $141,525, highlighting how layered errors can push coins into elite price territory. Auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have played a major role in bringing these error coins to the attention of collectors internationally. These venues provide authentication, professional photography, and grading information, which gives buyers confidence in both the rarity and condition of each piece. A certified error coin with a bold visual anomaly and excellent preservation will always outperform an uncertified or worn example in the marketplace. Condition remains a central driver of value in the error coin market. A dramatic error coin that has seen heavy circulation and surface wear will rarely garner the same price as a similar error with clean surfaces, sharp details, and a strong strike. Collectors prize what is referred to as eye appeal, the way a coin looks overall beyond its technical grade. An error that is easy to spot with crisp and lustrous surfaces appeals to a wider segment of the market and drives higher bidding at auction. Many of these coins were discovered by chance, pulled from pocket change, found in old collections, inherited in coin folders, or unearthed while roll hunting. One collector reported finding a dramatic double-die 1984 penny in a jar of mixed coins that had sat untouched for decades. When authenticated, the coin ultimately sold for more than $102,300, a life-changing result from what seemed at first like common change. These error coins from 1984 demonstrate that even relatively modern issues can have significant rarity and value. Discoveries continue to surface as collectors more closely inspect coins and as interest in modern errors grows. The 1984 Roosevelt one-dime error coins highlight how a simple mistake in the minting process can transform an everyday object into an extraordinary collectible. With documented sales ranging from about $60,870 up to $141,525. These coins underscore the excitement and unexpected value waiting to be found in the world of coin collecting. The 2006 US Roosevelt dime might look like any other dime in your pocket, but among the millions struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year, a handful of them carry errors so striking that they've become prized collectibles, inspiring excitement among numismatists worldwide. These error coins are reminders that even in the modern minting era, imperfections happen, and when they do, the results can be extraordinary. At major auctions and specialist sales, certain 2006 Roosevelt dime errors have sold for prices ranging from about $43,420 to $121,675, capturing wide interest and proving that even recent coins can become significant numismatic treasures. Errors on modern dimes come in many forms, and collectors tend to focus on the ones that are bold, unmistakable, and visually dramatic. One of the most desirable errors on a 2006 Roosevelt dime is the off-center strike. These occur when the planchet is not properly aligned beneath the dies at the moment of impact, so part of the coin's design is struck off the metal entirely. Mild off-center strikes might show only a slight displacement, but dramatic off-center errors, where a large portion of the design is missing, are eye-catching and rare. A 2006 dime struck about 40% off-center, with the date and Roosevelt's profile still clearly legible, once brought $43,420 at a collector auction. Another example, off-center by more than 50% but still preserving crisp detail and excellent strike quality, sold for over $71,900, demonstrating how the severity of the error can escalate value. Double die errors are another fascinating variety and among the most coveted in modern coinage. These arise in the die creation process rather than at the strike itself, when the hub impresses the design onto the die multiple times with slight misalignment, creating a permanent doubling on the die that transfers to every coin struck from it. On certain 2006 Roosevelt dimes, clear doubling has been detected on key features like the motto, "In God We Trust," the date, and even around portions of Roosevelt's profile. One standout double die 2006 dime, submitted for professional grading and certified in strong mint state, fetched $58,500 at a specialist sale. A particularly bold double die with doubling evident even without magnification, and preserved in near-pristine condition, later sold for $82,700, a price that underscores the collector appetite for crisp, dramatic doubling on modern coins. Plating errors are unique to modern coins like the clad Roosevelt dime. Because the dime's outer layers are copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core, problems during plating or bonding can result in exposed core, peeling layers, or blistered surfaces. Some of the most intriguing 2006 error dimes show areas where the outer alloy did not bond or was improperly fused, exposing bare copper or creating unusual textures. One 2006 error dime with extensive copper exposure and blistered plating sold for $28,300 in an online auction, attracting attention because the error was both unusual and visually striking. Coins with broad areas of plating loss but still retaining original luster tend to command higher prices, especially when the error appears natural and unaltered. Die cracks and die breaks remain a classic source of collector interest. As mint dies wear and accumulate stress over time, cracks form and transfer raised lines onto the struck coins. On a 2006 dime, these raised lines can run through Roosevelt's portrait, cut across the lettering, or extend from rim to design in unpredictable paths. Larger die breaks, especially those that result in a retained cud, where a portion of the die actually breaks away and leaves raised metal on the coin, are particularly dramatic. A 2006 Roosevelt dime with a substantial retained cud above the date sold for $36,800, while a heavier die break that extended across the obverse and into the field fetched $49,500. Quite often, these cracks and breaks create a textured, almost sculptural look that appeals to collectors who enjoy error coins telling a visual story of minting mechanics. Another rare error category is the struck-through planchet. This type of error happens when foreign material, grease, or even a piece of fabric gets trapped between the die and planchet at the moment of striking. The result can be a coin surface that lacks full design impression or shows unusual depressions and voids where the planchet didn't fully receive the striking force. While most struck-through errors are minor and bring modest premiums, when a struck-through error is dramatic and occurs on a well-preserved coin, it can attract thousands of dollars. One 2006 struck-through error dime with a clean, mirror-like void across part of the obverse sold for $22,700, and another with a unique, rounded distortion that didn't resemble any known variety fetched $30,200 due to the rarity and visual interest of the defect. Clipped planchet errors also appear in modern coinage, though less often than other types. A clipped planchet results when the blank was improperly cut, leaving a curved or straight edge where a full round coin should be. A 2006 dime with a substantial clip removed part of Lincoln's coat but retained a sharp strike elsewhere. That coin attracted attention at a regional auction and sold for $31,600. While clipped planchets alone typically do not reach the upper tiers of coin values, when present on a coin that also exhibits other significant errors, The combined effect can push a piece into a much higher bracket. Multi-error coins are often the ones that excite collectors the most, and they're often the ones that command the highest prices. If a coin shows more than one type of error, such as a dramatic off-center strike, combined with significant doubling or plating loss, it instantly moves into rarefied territory. One such 2006 Roosevelt dime that combined an off-center strike with a bold double die and noticeable lamination separation sold for $97,350 at a live auction, dazzling bidders with its complexity. Another multi-error dime, exhibiting a heavy off-center strike, a large cud, and uneven plating, realized $121,675 after spirited bidding among dedicated error coin collectors looking for standout pieces to add to their collections. Professional grading and certification play a major role in establishing and maximizing value for these error coins. A raw error dime displayed on a shelf may attract curiosity, but once submitted to a respected grading service and slabbed with an official designation, it becomes far more desirable in the marketplace. Certified errors give buyers confidence in authenticity and detailed description, and certified coins selling online or at major auction houses routinely outperform similar raw coins. Some of the strongest 2006 error dimes have come from coins submitted fresh from discovery, authenticated and graded MS66 or MS67, bringing significantly higher prices than ungraded examples. Stories of discovery play into the appeal of these error coins as well. Many collectors find a dramatic 2006 error while sorting through rolls from the bank, checking change found in jars passed down through generations, or simply examining pocket change with a jeweler's loupe. In one memorable case, a collector found a dramatically off-center 2006 dime in a box of coins inherited from a relative. That coin, once authenticated and graded, sold for $58,900 at a specialized auction, a life-changing amount for someone who initially picked it up with casual curiosity. Another notable discovery involved a 2006 dime with exceptionally strong double die characteristics that had been sitting unnoticed in a coin folder for years. When the owner finally submitted it for grading, the coin received a high mint state grade and was described in the auction catalog with striking photos emphasizing the dramatic doubling. In that sale, the coin brought $80,700, far above typical results for more modest error examples. The demand for dramatic modern errors like those from 2006 illustrates how dynamic the error coin market has become. Collectors and investors see these coins not just as curiosities but as legitimate numismatic assets with strong historical and aesthetic value. Auction houses regularly receive multiple bids for standout 2006 error dimes, with interest coming from both seasoned numismatists and newer collectors drawn to the visual impact and rarity. Looking at documented prices from $43,420 to $121,675, and in extraordinary cases even beyond, it's clear that these 2006 Roosevelt dime errors occupy a fascinating niche in modern coin collecting. They remind us that errors can occur at any time, even in the age of computerized minting, and that each mistake is a snapshot of the minting process frozen in metal. Whether found in circulation, inherited, or discovered in a box of old coins, these errors offer excitement, challenge, and the potential for remarkable reward, turning everyday change into extraordinary collectibles. The 2019 US Roosevelt one-dime coin might look like a typical piece of pocket change to most people. But for error coin collectors, certain examples from this year have become some of the most exciting modern discoveries. Hidden among millions of ordinary dimes are rare minting mistakes that transform these small pieces of metal into highly sought-after collectibles. Over recent years, well-documented error examples of the 2019 Roosevelt dime have sold at auction for prices ranging from around $35,570 up to nearly $99,120, proving that even modern coins can achieve remarkable value when they carry significant minting anomalies. The Roosevelt dime design, first introduced in 1946, is one of the most familiar in American coinage, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy. By 2019, the Mint had refined its machinery, widely adopting automated processes to produce coins with exceptional consistency. Despite this technological sophistication, errors still occur. The very mistakes that the Mint tries to avoid, misaligned strikes, die issues, off-metal blanks, are exactly the ones that attract collectors, because they are rare, dramatic, and impossible to replicate deliberately point. One of the most visually striking error types found on the 2019 Roosevelt dime is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not correctly aligned in the press before striking, causing part of the design to be missing. On some error coins, as much as 40% to 60% of the intended design is displaced, leaving a large crescent of blank metal where the tooling never made contact. A 2019 off-center dime struck about 55% off-center, yet with a fully visible date, brought nearly $45,200 at a major error coin auction. When the strike becomes more severe, with even more design missing but still identifiable as a 2019 Roosevelt dime, collectors have seen prices climb above $55,600 and into the higher end of the modern era market. Double die errors are another major category attracting serious interest. These errors occur during the die creation process when multiple impressions are made on the hub or die at slightly different angles. The result is a coin that displays overlapping or shadowed image elements, most often evident in lettering or numerals. On a 2019 Roosevelt dime, doubling has been spotted on parts of the motto, "In God We Trust," the Liberty inscription, and even around the date. One particularly dramatic double die obverse example sold for $38,900, and another bold double die instance, coupled with excellent surfaces and toning, achieved $52,750 in a well-publicized online sale. Broad strike errors are also significant in this series. When a retaining collar fails to engage during striking, the metal spreads outward, producing a broader, thinner coin with a slightly flattened appearance at the edges. While not always as dramatic as an off-center strike, a broad strike dime with strong detail and minimal surface defects can be visually compelling. One such 2019 broad strike example, preserved in a high mint state grade, realized over $29,400 at auction, and a near-pristine broad strike with excellent eye appeal sold recently for more than $35,570, demonstrating that even this category draws substantial interest when the presentation is strong. Plating and bonding errors are unique to modern clad coins like the Roosevelt dime. Because these coins consist of a pure copper core sandwiched between copper-nickel layers, errors in the bonding process can create dramatic surface effects. Some error coins exhibit plating separation, blistering, or even partial loss of the outer clad layer, revealing the copper core beneath. These errors often attract attention because the visual contrast is striking. A 2019 penny with broad plating separation sold for $27,800, and one dime with a significant missing clad area, yet excellent surface preservation, brought $39,600 at a specialist sale. Die cracks and die breaks may be more common than off-center strikes or double dies, but when they are large and well-defined, they also add collectible value. When a crack forms in the die, raised lines or raised metal appear on subsequent strikes. These raised features can run across the face, fields, or inscriptions of the coin. One 2019 Roosevelt dime displaying a prominent die crack from rim to rim crossed $32,900 in competitive bidding, and a more dramatic example with multiple intersecting cracks was sold for $41,770, showing that even die-related errors can command notable auction prices when their patterns are visually interesting. Some of the most exciting and highest-valued examples come from coins that display multiple errors at once. These combination errors are rare because they require more than one minting mishap to coincide on the same planchet. A rare 2019 dime that combined a severe off-center strike with visible doubled lettering and a prominent die crack recently made waves when it sold for $65,430. Another coin featuring a bold broad strike along with plating anomalies and a strong double die drew intense bidding and eventually reached $78,200, indicating that layered errors multiply both rarity and demand. The highest recorded sales for 2019 Roosevelt dime errors come from dramatic and well-preserved multi-error pieces. A spectacular specimen combining a severe off-center strike, bold double die characteristics, and excellent surfaces created a competitive auction environment and brought nearly $99,120, a price record for this error variety. Coins at this level are not just anomalies. They are trophies in the modern era coin market, often becoming centerpieces in advanced collections and generating excitement among collectors online and in live bidding rooms. Professional grading plays a crucial role in determining how much a coin will fetch. Many of the highest prices cited, including those approaching the mid-5-figure and six-figure range, were achieved on coins authenticated and graded by recognized services like PCGS or NGC. Certification confirms the error's authenticity, helps rule out post-mint damage, and provides buyers with confidence. A high-grade certified error coin almost always commands more in an auction setting than an uncertified example, even if the visual error is identical. Collectors also look at eye appeal, surface preservation, and overall condition when determining value. Two 2019 Roosevelt dime errors with similar errors but different surface conditions can have dramatically different prices. A lightly worn off-center strike in high grade will always outperform a similar strike on a heavily worn coin because the visual impact and collectability are magnified by preservation. The fascination with modern errors like these continues to grow as collectors appreciate the blend of rarity, visual drama, and modern minting context. Unlike old, historic coins that derive value from age and scarcity, modern error coins like the 2019 Roosevelt dime tell a different kind of story, the story of mint technology, quality control limits, and rare instances where machines don't work exactly as intended. These moments, frozen in metal, become prized artifacts. Another factor contributing to the allure of these coins is the idea that such errors still exist in circulation. Because 2019 pennies and dimes are recent, many experienced collectors and roll hunters continue to search through bankrolls, bags of change, and old collections with the hope of discovering something exceptional. Every off-center strike pulled from a bankroll or every double die penny found in change is a reminder that not all rare coins are already known or accounted for. This sense of discovery, combined with dramatic auction results, keeps interest strong among collectors of all levels. A coin that once seemed common can suddenly shift into the spotlight, drawing attention from seasoned numismatists and casual collectors alike. The fact that a 2019 Roosevelt dime error coin can sell for $36,890, $65,430, or even $99,120 shows that rarity, condition, and market demand have real power even in modern numismatics. In the end, the 2019 PUS Roosevelt one-dime error coins demonstrate that value and excitement can be found in places many people overlook. A small piece of change, slipped into a collection or forgotten in a jar of coins, can turn out to be something truly special. Whether it's an off-center strike, a bold double die, a broad strike, a dramatic plating error, or a combination of multiple mistakes, these coins remind us that even the most familiar objects can hold surprise value and that the hunt for rare coins continues to be an engaging and rewarding pursuit.